Hey guys, welcome to another video in Python Tkinter examples. In this short video, we're going to have a Python chat application tutorial, and I'm going to show you guys 5 essential features for building a chat app in Tkinter. These features include multi-client chat application that will help us to demonstrate real-time communication Python app, as well as socket programming and threading for responsiveness, and lastly, a user-friendly GUI. So first, let's demonstrate our app. I have ran 2 instances of the application, and we're gonna show here how they're gonna talk to each other. So I'm gonna go to the left one here, just type something, hello there, send, and you can see we get it on the other app as well. And I'm gonna send it from here. We should see it on the other instance as well. Yep. See, these two apps can communicate with each other. And I have put in a scrollbar feature. So I'm just going to hit send here a few times. Just make it longer. Just to show you guys how the scrollbar works. Yep. So you can see it works just fine. Okay, so in this app, we're going to cover build chat application in Python, as I said. Python Tkinter examples, Python networking basics, real-time communication Python, which you just saw, and multi-client chat application, Python socket programming basics, Python Tkinter listbox. So what you saw on the screen on the both side, we displayed the messages on the list box. And also we're going to have Tkinter scrollbar integration and Python multi-threaded server. I try to be as thorough and as detailed as possible when it comes to explaining each step, so you can get familiar with the concept and methods we're going to use in this application. So first, we're going to have 3 files to keep our application organized. The first one will be our main application, where we configure all the interface design using Tkinter. As you can see, we already have that. So the second one, we need a Python multi-client chat server that will help us to handle the server side of the interaction. This is where I show you how to handle Python networking basics, and we touch on Python socket module tutorial. And also we need a client for our client side of the application. After creating all these 3, we're going to go to our first step to build chat application in Python. Okay, we need to import the packages we're going to work with. Threading allows us to run multiple threads at the same time. This is essential for handling multiple clients in a Python multi-threaded server. So if you don't have it, you need to install the package. Then we import TK, TTK, and themes modules for our interface design. And from TTK themes, import themed TK. And also we need to import client. We needed to invoke a client module function. Then we're going to create our main window and widgets. So we're going to come down here, say root equal to themed TK, theme equal to arc, and we're going to give it a title, root dot, okay, what is happening? Root dot title, I'm going to look at it later. And chat app, also geometry, the size of our main window. I'm gonna give it something like 400 x 500, let's say. Then we need to configure our grid layout to make it responsive to resizing the application window. So we do that using grid row configure and grid underscore column configure. For the rows and the columns, we want them to be responsive. This is, I think, because probably I didn't install the package. Yep. Okay, installing. Well, let's make this 3 at 200 to be smaller. It'll be better for our purpose. Okay, so root dot create row configure. We're gonna give it the row number and the weight, and we will do that for all the rows that we're going to use. So row number 1 and 2 as well, and also we're gonna use one column, so column number 0. Okay, now we need to define our widgets. As I said, we're going to have Python Tkinter listbox to display messages and Tkinter scrollbar integration to scroll through our messages. So scrollbar, and also we're going to have an entry to enter our text and a submit button. And root text send, we're going to need a method for this one. Command send message. Alright, we're going to define the function up here, and we'll pass it for now. Okay, and let's go and arrange these. So we're going to use grid, row 0, column 0, and we want to stretch it, so we're going to use sticky, north, south, east, and west. And also for the scroll bar, grid, same row, column number 1, sticky NS, and grid, we're gonna put it below the list box, so row number 1, and the button below that, so row number 2. Okay. Alright, we need to attach the scroll bar to the list box. So Y scroll command links the list box to the scroll bar, so that scrolling the list box will move the scroll bar. And command list box Y view links the scroll bar to the list box, so that moving the scroll bar scrolls the list box. Alright. Let's go to server. Okay, we need a socket and threatening. Socket is used to create network connection. Without it, we can't set up the server or client socket to communicate over a network. And we're gonna create an object of it and pass few options. The options would be IP family address and protocol. AFINET is IPv4 family address, and socket stream is TCP protocol. And we need to bind them using the bind method. Give it a local host and IP address here. And also we need to put the socket in listening mode that will accept incoming connections. And also we're going to create a list of clients, track all the clients connected to the server. We're going to need a loop to accept all the upcoming client connections. We're going to use that using accept connection method. And we want to get the address of the new connection and create a new socket for it. And the way we do it, we're going to use server socket.accept. This method first blocks the server from any code execution until a new connection request is made. And when that happens, the accept method returns 2 values, a new socket and address. We append the new socket to the list of our client, and we print the address. To start a new thread to handle communication with the new connection. This will allow multiple communication on the server, since each connection is operating on its own thread. And we're going to pass it a function that we'll define later, and also pass it to the thread class. This function will manage communication with connected clients, and we pass handle client our new connection socket. And also we run the start to start the thread activity. And then we're gonna go and define our handle client function, which will accept a client socket. Okay, messages sent through the server using bytes. So we need to receive them and decode them. The way we do that, first we're gonna have a loop to keep accepting, and we're gonna have try and accept here. Say message equal to, then we put our socket here dot racv, and 1024 is the amount of bytes we're going to receive, and decode. Now we have the message in the string. We want to print it, and then we want to pass the message to a client function called broadcast. So if message print, I want to print the message so we can see it in the console. Typo. Okay. Receive message. I want to display it. Except if we get an error, we want to remove it, like remove the socket, and also we want to close the connection to free resources. And we want to break. Okay, we're looking good here, but we need to call the broadcast method from here every time that we receive a message and pass the message. So we'll broadcast it to all the connected connections. And next step, we want to go and define the broadcast. First, let's fix the misspelling. We're good. So def broadcast. So this function will send the messages to all the connection in the network. That's why we call it broadcast. So sender socket. So we're gonna have a loop. We're gonna loop over a list of our connections, and we're gonna make sure that we don't send the message to the client, so that we don't send the message to the sender itself. Okay. Try client.send is the method we use to send the message, and we need to encode it because we're sending it through over the server. We need to if you recall, we decoded that. Now we need to encode it and send it. I want to remove the client if we get an error. Then we're gonna go and define start server method. This will initiate the server by starting the accept connection function in a new thread. And so we're gonna create a new thread and target accept connections. And we need to mark the thread as daemon thread. Daemon thread exists when the main program exists, and ensuring that the server is shut down cleanly. And lastly, we accept the connections using the start method. So server underscore thread dot start. Now we need to make sure that the server keep running and the server code runs only when the script is executed directly, not when it's imported as a module. This is useful because it allows us to import the server module into the other script without automatically starting the server. The way we do it, we make a condition with the underscore double underscore name equal to main, and we print it, start the server, and we want to keep the main thread running indefinitely. Without this, the main thread would exit. Okay, this is good. Let's go to our client. We're going to import socket and threatening. Socket threatening. And we need a global client so we can reference it later. We're going to initialize and connect the client socket to the server. We connect using the connect method. So we're going to define a function here, start client. and global. Want to make the socket. Want to make the client socket global first, then equal to socket dot socket. So we create a socket here. Same thing we did in the server. Give the family address and a protocol. We're going to use the connect method on it to connect to the local host here. We need to use the same IP address, and we print connected to the server. And we need to start a thread and pass the method that helps us to receive a message from the server without blocking the main thread. Use that using receive messages function, which we'll define in the next step, and start method on it. So this will help us to constantly receive messages from the server. And so the same way we did it in the server file, we're going to receive it, we're going to decode it, make sure the message exists. So client socket dot receive 1024 dot decode. So we have it as a string to make sure it exists, and print. Okay, message. All right, in case of error, you want to exit the app. So we're just gonna break. Okay, we're gonna define another method. This is a placeholder function that intended to be replaced by a callback to handle received messages. We will override this in the main application. And also another function that will send the messages to the server. We check to make sure that the client exists, and encode and send the message. All right, looking good. Let's go to our main app. We need to add few more methods, or like define this one first. So this will help us to send the message to the server through the client. And first we need to get the message from the entry, send the message using the send message method, and insert it into the listbox. We need to delete the message from entry after the user click on enter. Okay, we also need to receive the message from client and insert it to the listbox. So while true, try message. Actually, let's say message equal to client dot client socket receive decode, and we want to make sure the message exists. So if message exists, we want to insert it to the list box. Insert the whole thing. Message. I gotta learn how to type message. This is the third time I mistype it. Okay, I want to break if we have an error. Okay, next step, we need to initialize the client and set the callback for received messages. So start client on, remember on message received was the method. This will keep helping us to receive messages. Call the start client after this. Client.start client. and we're gonna start a new thread. Okay, receive messages dot start. Okay, lastly, on message received, we define it here. We used it as a placeholder before. So listbox dot insert tk dot end message. Okay, seems good. Let's go and run the app. I think we have done everything. Yep, let's run it. Make sure it works. So in the console, I'm gonna first run the server and open a second console terminal. So python main.py. I'm gonna run one instance from here and another one by running the app itself. Just going to the run option. Run. Yep. So let's try it out. Hello. Yep. We got it there. Let's try it from this side. Hi. How are you? Whatever. Sent. Okay, good. Let's check out a scroll bar. All right. Looks good. Okay, there you have it, guys. So we covered build chat application in Python, Python Tkinter examples, Python networking basics, real-time communication Python multi-client chat application, as well as Python socket programming basics, Python Tkinter listbox, Tkinter scrollbar integration, and Python multi-threaded server. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give me a like, subscribe, or leave me a comment and give me a hint for next video maybe. Thank you. Have a great day.